Rounding is a very useful skill. It can help you at the grocery store when you're trying to estimate how much all your groceries are going to cost you. Being able to round properly helps you to make good estimations. In math, we use rounding to make easier numbers to work with. So when you are rounding, the place value that you are rounding to, the number to the right of it is going to determine if you are going to round that number up or down. If the number to the right of the place that you are rounding to is 0, 1, 2, 3, or 4, it is going to tell you to round that number down. If the number is to the right is a 5, 6, 7, 8, or 9, it is going to tell you to round up. When you round that number up, you're going to add 1 to that number and then change all the numbers to the right of it to a 0. When you round down, you leave that number the same and still change all the numbers to the right of it to a 0. Let's try one. If you have a number like 17 and they ask you to round to the tens place, that would be the 1. So you're going to underline the tens place and you're going to circle the number to the right of it that is going to help you determine how we're going to round this number. When rounding to the tens place, you're going to be looking for an easy number to work with, like 10, 20, 30, 40, so on. So we look at the 7, and we come up here, and the 7 tells us to round up. So when we round up, we add 1 to the place that we're rounding to equal 20, and then change all the numbers to the right to 0. So we come up with 20 is our number. Let's try another one. If we have a number like 543 and they ask us to round to the hundreds place, we're going to underline the hundreds place, the 5, and circle the number to the right of it, which is the 4. Then we're going to look up here, and a 4 tells us to round down. So when we round down, we keep the number that we're rounding to the same and change all the numbers to the right of it to a 0. So we end up with 500. So when you round to the hundreds place, you're looking for a number like 100, 200, 300, 500, 700. So we came up with 500. Let's try another one. We'll do 8,504. And we're going to round to the thousands place this time, and that is the 8, where the 8 is. So we're going to use the number to the right to help us, and that's the 5. So we're going to look up here, and the 5 tells us to round up. So when we round up, we add 1 to the place that we're rounding to, and that is going to equal 9, and change all the numbers to the right of it to a 0. So we end up with 9,000. When you round to the thousands place, you're going to end up with easy numbers to work with, like 1,000, 2,000, or 9,000. Let's try a larger number. And let's say I want you to round to the 10,000s place, which is the 2. So we're going to circle the number to the right of it, which is the 3, and the 3 tells us to round down. So when we round down, we keep this number the same, but we also keep all the numbers to the left of it the same. And then we change the rest of the numbers to the right to a 0. So we end up with 420,000. A nice, easy number to work with. Now let's try a tricky one. If you have a number like 196, and they want you to round to the tens place, which is where the 9 is, we're going to use the 6 to help us. We look up here, and the 6 tells us to round up, so we have to add 1 to the tens place. Well, when you add 1, that equals 10. So we're going to have to change, in order to make this 10, then you put a 0 down here, and you add 1 to this number to make 10, and you get 20. And then you change all the rest of the numbers to the right to equal 0. So you end up with 200 when you round 196 to the tens place. Let's try another tricky one. If they want us to round to the thousands place, which is this 9, we're going to use this 9 to help us. And that 9 tells us to round up. So when we round up, we have 10 again, because we have to add 1. So that means that we're going to put a 0 there and add 1 here. But that gives us 10 again, so we're going to put a 0 and add 1 here. So we're going to end up with 200, and then change all the numbers to the right to 0 to come up with 200,000. So when you have to round to the thousands place and there's a 9, you round up, so you add 1, which will create a 10, which will make you add 1 to the next place. And you continue doing that until you come up with an even number. And if you are having trouble remembering the names of the places, please print out the place value name chart that I have posted on this page. And let's try it one more, and if you're feeling comfortable with this concept, just push pause and try this one yourself and then come back and check your answer. Let's round this one to the hundreds place. The hundreds place is the 3. So we're going to use the 4 to help us. And the 4 tells us to round down. So we're going to keep this number the same. We're also going to keep all the other numbers the same to the left. And change all the numbers to the right to a 0. So we end up with 18,300. To practice this concept, please do the worksheet that I have posted and check your answers with the answer key that I have provided. Thank you for watching, and I hope you found this helpful.